Hey guys, today we're going to be continuing working with solving quadratic equations by factoring. So to remind us of how all of this stuff works, step one, get the equation equal to 0. That's something we're going to focus on today. Step two, and we were doing stuff, this was kind of what we were doing Monday and Tuesday, just steps 2 through 4, but factor the equation, set each factor equal to 0, and then solve the two smaller equations. But we're going to add in this first step today. So I'm going to give you two examples. I'm going to explain what this is going to do. It'll be a little bit different than before, but that's all. It's just going to be a small change. So this first step that we have not really gone over yet is getting the equation equal to 0. Now, for this equation right here, 5x squared plus 2x plus 2 equals 5. Obviously, this equation is not equal to 0. It's equal to 5. We have some non-zero number here. So the first thing that I always need to do is get one of the sides equal to 0. Now, this side is pretty easy. All I have to do is subtract a 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. And then I need to figure out where on this side of the equation should I subtract the 5 from. So think I'm combining like terms, so I subtract 5 from here. 2 minus 5, so I get 5x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So that first step, get the equation equal to 0. We have an equation that is equal to 0. So first step is all done. Second step, I make my table. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And the numbers that would give you positive 2 are still 5 and negative 3. Those work. So 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. 5 plus negative 3 is positive 2. So we have that. Next thing I have to do, I need to make a box out of this. Not very much room there, that's fine. So this is, what we're doing here is all step 2. We're factoring the quadratic equation. So put the 5x squared here, the negative 3 here, the 5 and the negative 3. So put those two sides in there and then add x's onto them. Now we're going to factor this. So I'm going to put a 5x here and a 1x here. 5x times 1x is 5x squared. 5x times just a 1 times 5x is 5x, so that number goes there. And 1x times negative 3 is negative 3x. So that means that our factored form is 1x plus 1 and times 5x minus 3. That equals 0. So that was step 2. We did the factoring. Now, step 3, set each factor equal to 0. So 1x plus 1 equals 0. 5x minus 3 equals 0. And now, step 4, solve the two smaller equations. So minus 1, minus 1. We're just going to solve that like a normal equation. So we have 1x equals negative 1. Divide by 1. We don't really need to do that, but we get x equals negative 1. So that's one of the two answers. And for the other one, we add 3 to both sides. 5x equals 3. And we divide by 5. X equals 3/5. We'll just leave that as a fraction. So that means that our final answer here is x equals negative 1, and the other answer is 3/5. So if you write that in brackets, it would look like that. So those are our two answers right there, negative 1 and positive 3/5. All right, so for our second problem, that's going to be this one here. So we have 3v squared plus 7 equals negative 10v. Again, I have to get one side equal to 0. I'm going to get this side equal to 0 because there's only one term right here. So I'm going to say plus 10v. My negative 10v and positive 10v would cancel. And now I need to figure out where can I add 10v over here. Now, if I'm looking here, I should notice that there is no term that just has a v. I can't add it to this one because that's squared. Can't add it here because there's no v there. So I'm going to add it in the middle between them. So I get 3v squared plus 10v plus 7 equals 0 because there's no other thing I can add it to, so I'll just put that in the middle. Make sure that's in order. All right, so the next thing, we have 3 times 7, a times c, which is 21. And we have to find two numbers that add up to 10. That is also still 3 and 7. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 plus 7 is positive 10. So that works. So we're doing step 2 now. We're factoring. We make a box. Again, you can use the grouping method, but you do not need to use either method in particular. I just keep on using the box method because I find this simpler. So 3v squared goes here, 7 goes here. We'll put a 3v there and a 7v here. So 3v and 1v. 3 goes into 3, that's why I put it on the side. 1 goes there because 3v times 1 is 3v, and 1v times 7 is 7v, so that works out. So that means that our factored form is 1v plus 1 times 3v plus 7. So put the top there, the side there. Again, that is equal to 0. And now I need to do go back up here. So I've done step 1, got it equal to 0. Step 2, factored the quadratic equation. That's what we just did. It's factored. Now we have step 3, set each factor equal to 0. So 1v plus 1 equals 0. 3v plus 7 equals 0. And we solve both of those. So 1v minus 1 from both sides. So we get equals negative 1. Divide by 1, divide by 1. V equals negative 1. And here, minus 7. 3v equals negative 7. Divide by 3, divide by 3. V equals negative 7/3. So those are our two answers. So that means that the final answer is V equals, squiggly parentheses, negative 1, comma, negative 7/3. So this form just means that V is equal to both of those two numbers. So negative 1 and negative 7/3. That's how you do it. So the new thing here, you're going to get equations that are not equal to 0. You just have to cancel out whatever that term is. So down here, we had to cancel out the 10v. Up here, we had to cancel out the 5. That's what's new. If you have any questions, please come see me during office hours or send me an email. And good luck on your homework, guys. Hope to see you soon.